Had a chance to come out for the last day of squirrel season. And see if we can't get a couple of gray squirrels. It was about 4 below last night. The wind's blowing, everything's pretty much locked down. But there was definitely things moving around last night. A lot of deer. Mind the twig there. A lot of deer moving around, but again, you know, things are pretty much locked down today. Also, kind of in hopes of seeing a snowshoe hare. The other thing I'm pretty jazzed out about is my new Schnees. These boots are the Schnees out of Woodsman, Montana, the Western Packer ADVs. Not the TTs, but the ADVs. And cannot express how much I love these boots. My first day out in snowshoes, and doing exactly what I wanted them to do. They fit right in there nice and tight. And just a comfortable boot to walk around, move around in. So, don't mean to give you vertigo, I'm just trying to give you a little better angle. Very happy with them. Cannot thank the folks at Schnee's enough for making such a good product. And hopefully get a lot of years of use out of these. I got them yesterday and could not wait to get out here and test them out in a pair of snowshoes. And very, very pleased with these boots. I can't believe how the quality and how stable they are. I mean, it feels like, you know, they're felt line. Most felt line boots are kind of bulky and floppy, but these things just fit your feet like solid. Very well made boots. These are the Western Packer ADVs, 14 inches high, and they go right into the toes are pointed so they can actually fit into stirrups for the you know, the outfitters out west or whatever, anybody on horseback. So they've got a comfort rating of inactive is 10 below Fahrenheit and active is 30 below. I'm not sure how comfortable they would be at those temperatures, but supposedly. Anyway, that's the whole idea of getting out here and testing them out. But right now my feet are pretty toasty, and it's about probably 10 degrees above zero. So, but again, I'm pretty active on snowshoes. But anyway, what I like about them is, as I said, the toes are pointed and they fit into, you know, the old traditional style snowshoe bindings that were basically designed for moccasin / mucklucks, something with a small, you know, a fairly small foot. So when you put a big old Squirrel, you know, nice, big old bulky, warm felt line boot, a lot of times it's just too much boot for those bindings. Now, I know the first thing someone's going to say is, well, there's other alternatives. You can use lamp wicks. You can make your own bindings. There's a dozen different ways you can do it. But specifically, I like the old traditional style bindings. Now, I'm going to backpedal a little bit because right now I have on these newfangled neoprene bindings that I'm kind of testing out because I like them as well, but they're a little different design. I'm going to show them to you in a minute. So anyway, like I was saying, you can see the toes are pointed, and these are those newfangled neoprene jobs that I was telling you about. But I'll tell you, my boots just fit so good in these things. I really like them. But I definitely like the old you know, leather traditional ones as well. These are just something I'm kind of knocking around with. But boy, they work really well. And you know, for these old traditional snowshoes. So it's kind of a hybrid binding, I guess, if you will. You know, it's not as traditional, but it's still semi-traditional. So you've probably seen them, but they hold your boots really well, and especially these boots. They fit in. They just fit in tight, and you snug them up, and they're not coming off. One company makes them, but they're sold through LL Bean. They're sold through several other retailers online and whatnot. So, but anyway, I will put the name of the manufacturer on the video, and then you can just go online and you can find them at a bunch of different places. But I particularly like the old traditional style snowshoes. You know, since I was a kid, my grandparents and my parents always had the the long trails, or what we used to call pickerels, but they're pretty long, and that's just what I like for getting around. They tend to work better for me. The bear paws are nice if you're in tight quarters and turning around and stuff, but I've always just liked the longer snowshoes, and these here are Snowcraft. I'm made in Bangor, Maine, so like most of my stuff, I try to buy things made in Maine. Anywho, taking a break and seeing what we can scare up, but it's just great being out here today. Got the old double barrel 16 gauge for tradition, and love this old gun. Anywho, let's see if we can kick something up. You can see things were moving around last night. Got a combination of coyotes, snowshoe hare, and white-tailed deer. Everything was pretty busy here last night. But today things are pretty locked down. I'm sure those deer are bedded down. Save your energy. Yeah, there's really no better way to get out here and spend an afternoon in the middle of the wintertime than on a pair of good old traditional snowshoes. It's just such a great time to be out in the woods, you know. And a lot of, unfortunately, because of work and stuff, we miss out on it. If you ever get, if you get the chance to get out in these conditions, definitely put the time in, because it's just everything's so different out here in the wintertime. As you can see by the tracks, I am right in the major intersection of deer traffic. The animals are different, just the cold, just everything about it. Just love it out here. I am definitely in the major intersection of deer traffic, and very surprised I didn't jump one or two or 5 or 6 out of their beds, because this is a nice southern exposure hillside, and that's where they love to just spend the midday and soaking up the sun and getting their rest. And I can't, as much as I love to see deer, I don't like jumping them out of their beds this time of year, especially this winter, because food is so critical, and they need every ounce of energy they have, and every time that they jump or walk, that's more calories that are being burned off. They don't have a lot to spare this year, so I'm kind of going to get out of here before I do just what I don't want to do. But there's some... They're actually eating the bark off these, like I was saying, Deer have been just about everything if you look. You can see the camera. You can see they've eaten the bark off that little evergreen right there. There's one deer there. Deer. You can see where they're chewing this one, eating the bark off that one. If you can see it, the camera, hopefully you can. That's deer. That's what they're eating right now. So I don't know, which is bizarre. Not bizarre, but yeah, just you wonder what they're eating. There's just no natural food this year. Really kind of scary. But anyway, as far as the squirrels go, nada, zip. Squirrels one, Ed zip. They're just locked down today. They're in their nests, whatever. They're not going anywhere. This wind and this powder, they're all set for today. They'll wait till it warms up and things harden up, and then they'll be out moving around. But today's the last day of squirrel season, so I had to give it a try. Didn't have very high hopes, so to be honest with you. Not with the conditions we have. But just glad to be out here. And I'm actually right under a nest. We'll leave them alone.